Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond the Evidence. This is the channel where justice matters. My name is Marv. I am a true crime fanatic, and I love to dig deeper into the mysteries of unsolved cases. Join me as we search for missing persons, uncover the clues in unsolved murders, follow along with jury trials, and we'll be a voice for the voiceless. I'll share with you the facts, the theories, the clues, the evidence, and the controversies that surround these cases. This is Beyond the Evidence. Hi everyone, how are you? Happy New Year's Eve to everyone. I wanted to come on and let you know where I'm at, what I'm doing, talk about New Year's, what everybody's plans are. I got a new microphone, so that is what you see here. Let me know how the volume is so I know if I have to try to adjust it or not. Just came to chat and wish everybody a happy new year. This week I got some really good news. As you know, I've been going to the chiropractor and working with my back and my sciatic nerve, and I went on Monday and I finally got my back to crack, the whole thing all at one time. So that is very good news. I have been pain-free in my back and shoulders for about 6 days now. And my sciatic nerve is still acting up a little bit, but it's getting better every day. So I can actually sit in my chair and do good things. So let me know if you can hear me, for one thing. I just need to know so that I know the new microphone is working. Randy says, where is everyone at? Are they in New York City? Not me. Not today. Andrea says, hey. Mustang says, Happy New Year. CJK's in the house. Andrew says, hear you fine. Oh, good. Glad. Gail, Happy New Year. So glad you guys could join me today. I will be back on a more regular basis now that my back and shoulder is much better. And so you'll be seeing a lot more of me. Which is good. This is not how I planned the second half of November and December to go, that's for sure. So what is everybody doing for New Year's Eve? We're just home watching TV. Might have a couple drinks, wine coolers later. I don't know. Have no idea. The kids are downstairs. The hubby's taking a nap. So what are you guys up to? Hi, Melissa. How are you? Hey, CJK. How are you? So glad you all could join me. So one of the things that I kind of wanted to do was go over some of the bigger cases that have happened in 2024, where we have gotten guilty verdicts. So I asked Bing for some help, and they gave me some cases to look at. Home watching Nashville Bash. Not sure what Nashville Bash is, but okay. Anybody else watching movies or anything special for New Year's? Hey, Stephanie, Happy New Year. How are you doing? Kind of bummed, got the flu and missing out on family fun, so I'm trying to find something to watch on TV. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, CJK. I know my son's got something. His cough is just being persistent. So I feel for you, CJK. No bowl games on this evening. Yeah. Oh, it's a country concert. Okay, gotcha. You're watching college football. All right. Yeah, it can be very, very rough, CJK, depending on what kind you have and what your symptoms are. Melissa said she just got over the flu. Yep. Spending the evening with my grandson, Noah. He's my little buddy. Oh, you're going to have a good time with him. So, CJK, I hope you feel better soon. For sure. Stephanie says, I wanted to go out and do karaoke, but hubby is sick, so staying home watching you. Aw. We normally do not go out on New Year's Eve. We used to go bowling, we used to go to the casino. Sometimes we'd go out with friends. Sometimes friends would come here and play cards, but the past few years, we haven't really done a whole lot. Stayed home, getting ready for your game night at 9 p.m. All right. Well, everyone, when you're done watching this, go over by Randy and enjoy the New Year's Eve game night at 9. So let's go over some of the top trials that happened in 2024 this year, where there were guilty verdicts and victims received justice. See, we play games, lots of food, shrimp, queso, dips, jalapeno poppers, not my style, but that's all right. CJK, ESPN, Penn State, and Boise State. All right. All right. So the first two cases I have on my list, you will all remember because it set a big precedence this year. It is Jennifer and James Crumbley from Michigan. The victims were 4 students at Oxford High School: Hannah St. Juliana, 14, Tate Mears, 16, Madison Baldwin, 17, and Justin Schilling, 17. On November 30th, 2021, their son, Ethan Crumbley, opened fire at Oxford High School, unaliving 4 students and injuring 7 others. Ethan was 15 years old at the time. During Jennifer's trial, she was charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. The prosecution argued that Jennifer and her husband, James, ignored warning signs and failed to secure the firearm that Ethan used in the shooting. This was the same for James. He was charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. So their verdicts, each of them really received a 10 to 15-year sentence in prison. Jennifer is currently appealing the conviction and has requested to be released on bond while her appeal is pending. And James is currently serving his sentence. Yes, Linda, we all remember this case. And yes, she is asking to get out till her trial. She deserves to stay right where she's put, in my opinion. The next one, all of you should remember in the chat here, Adam Montgomery. The victim, Harmony Montgomery, formerly known as Harmony Montgomery. She is now known as Harmony Renee, a 5-year-old girl. Harmony was last seen alive in late 2019. Her biological father, Adam Montgomery, was awarded full custody of her by Massachusetts judge in 2019. Harmony was subjected to severe abuse by Adam, and tragically, she was unalived. Adam and his wife Kayla hid Harmony's body, which has never been found. Adam Montgomery was charged with second-degree murder. The trial began on February 8th of 2024 and included testimonies from family members and friends. Kayla Montgomery testified that Adam repeatedly beat Harmony after she had a bathroom accident. The prosecution argued that Adam's actions led to Harmony's death. On February 22nd, 2024, Adam was found guilty of second-degree murder, and he was sentenced to 45 years to life in prison on May 9th of 2024. We know this case well. We've done many things. I've done different lives on it. I can tell you that they continue to search for Harmony. I'm hoping that one of these days they will find her and be able to lay her to rest. The next trial that we're going to just brief overviews of these is the Michelle Troconis trial. The victim was Jennifer Dulos, a mother of 5 from New Canaan, Connecticut. Jennifer Dulos went missing on May 24th, 2019, after she was last seen dropping off her children at school. She was in the midst of a contentious divorce and custody battle with her estranged husband, Fotis Dulos. Jennifer's body has never been found, but she was declared legally dead in October of 2023. Michelle Troconis, who was in a relationship with Fotis Dulos at the time, was charged with conspiracy to commit murder, tampering with physical evidence, conspiracy to commit tampering with physical evidence, and hindering prosecution. The trial included testimonies and evidence suggesting that Troconis helped Fotis Dulos cover up Jennifer's unaliving. Surveillance footage showed Fotis Dulos disposing of garbage bags containing items with Jennifer's blood on them, and Troconis was seen assisting him. On February 22nd, 2024, Michelle Troconis was found guilty on all charges. She was sentenced to 14.5 years in prison on May 31st of 2024. Let's see here. Sicko Adam, exactly. That one bothered me. Poor Harmony, exactly. The fact that she still hasn't been found, and we know that we're looking for that CIC bag. That's what she's in. I don't know that they're ever going to find that. He showed no remorse. Every missing person needs found, especially children. I agree. And in 2025, we're going to focus on those missing person cases. Agreed. Did anybody here watching tonight follow the Michelle Troconis trial. I know that I watched quite a bit of that trial this year. Okay, another big case that happened. Yep, Andrea says Chad Daybell. Victims Tylee Ryan, 16, who was Lori Vallow Daybell's daughter from a previous marriage. Joshua J.J. Vallow, Lori Vallow Daybell's adopted son. Tammy Daybell, Chad Daybell's wife. They also list on here Charles Vallow, Lori Vallow Daybell's previous husband, and Brandon Bordeaux, Lori Vallow Daybell's nephew-in-law. So, what happened? The Vallow Daybell case involved a series of tragic events starting in 2019. Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell were involved in the disappearance and deaths of Lori's children. And that's Tylee, Ryan, and J.J. Vallow, as well as the murder of Lori's previous husband, Charles Vallow, and Chad's wife, Tammy Daybell. Brandon Bordeaux, Lori's nephew-in-law, was also a target of an attempted murder. The trial for Chad Daybell began in April of 2023. The prosecution presented evidence that Lori and Chad conspired to kill their respective spouses and Lori's children to fulfill their beliefs, apocalyptic beliefs. Testimonies from family members and friends, along with surveillance footage, were key pieces of evidence. On May 31st, 2024, Chad Daybell was found guilty on all charges, including first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. I remember that one too. I think Lori is going to represent herself in a retrial or something like that. More to come on that. Now, next one, I'm not sure if we covered on this channel, but a lot of people seem to watch it. So, Carly Gregg, the victim, Ashley Smiley, Carly Gregg's mother, and Heath Smiley, Carly's stepfather. On March 19, 2024, 15-year-old Carly Gregg pew-pewed and unalived her mother, Ashley, a high school math teacher, with a .357 Magnum in their Mississippi home. Carly then attempted to unalive her stepfather, Heath, by pew-pewing him in the shoulder when he arrived home. She also invited a friend over to see her mother's body. During the trial, the prosecution presented evidence that Carly had a secret life involving drugs, burner phones, and hidden vape pens containing marijuana. They argued that Carly killed her mother after Ashley discovered her drug use. The defense argued that Carly was experiencing significant mental health issues and was in a state of psychosis at the time. On September 20th, 2024, Carly was found guilty of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and tampering with evidence. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Andrea says, that girl was nuts. She showed no remorse in the courtroom until she heard her sentence. I agree. I got to watch snippets of this one, not the full trial, but from what I saw, it was crazy. And the fact that she's only 15 years old and can do those things, I'm glad that she will be in prison for the rest of her life and will not have the chance to do that again. Leilani Simon. This is a case that just ended in November when I was at the Delphi trial. Victim, Quentin Simon, Leilani Simon's 20-month-old son. Quentin was reported missing on October 5th, 2022, after Leilani Simon claimed he disappeared from his playpen at their home in Chatham County, Georgia. After an extensive search, Quentin's remains were found in a landfill. Leilani Simon was charged with malice murder, felony murder, concealing the death of another, false report of a crime, and making a false statement. The trial included testimony from family members, friends, and law enforcement officers. The prosecution argued that Leilani Simon unalived her son and then attempted to cover up the crime by hiding his body. The defense argued that Simon was not responsible for her son's unaliving. On October 25th, 2024, Leilani Simon was found guilty on all 19 charges against her. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole plus 10 additional years. This sentence really disturbed me. Oh, hi, Chris. No, she had no remorse there either. Absolutely not. And I did go back and I did listen to this trial. And it was so heartbreaking to hear what happened to this little boy. We all know that he was missing and they found him in the landfill. But to go back and actually watch the evidence of her movements that night, and that she was the only individual awake in the house at that time, how they tracked her movements to a mobile home park, to the dumpster, and then had to research where that dumpster dumped the garbage in the landfill. And then hearing what happened to poor Quentin's body due to that, I don't think they found all of him. I think there was just pieces of him that were found. And in 2025, we're going to get into this a little bit more, because every day we hear new cases of parents unaliving their kids. And it's got to stop. Somebody's got to do something. People have to stand up and say something when they see something happening to these kids. CJK, she has no maternal instincts or feelings for her own children. It's sickening. What surprised me the most is that the oldest son was her ride or die. She would have done anything for him. And she also would have done anything for her youngest child, who was her daughter. But when it came to Quentin, she did not like or love that child because he looked like his father. You're the one that had relations with this man. You're the one that didn't have any protection and got pregnant by this man. How can you take it out on that baby? Because you then don't like the man that you chose to have relations with. So sick. So heartbreaking. Hey, Miranda, how's it going? Happy New Year, member for 3 months. Thank you for sticking with me on the membership. We are going to start those up again in 2025, now that I'm back. See, yeah, she did. You thought he looked like his mom? I don't know that I've ever seen a picture of the father, but in the trial, that is what they stated. Yeah, there is a thing such as adoption. Absolutely. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. So if you're just joining us, we're going over some of the cases that found guilty verdicts in 2024. The next case was a wild one, guys, and it's the case of Sarah Boone. Victim, I think it's George Torres Jr., who was her boyfriend. On February 24, 2020, Sarah Boone called 911 to report that her boyfriend, George Torres Jr., was unresponsive. Torres was found dead inside a suitcase in their apartment in Winter Park, Florida. Boone claimed they were playing hide and seek while intoxicated, and she accidentally fell asleep, leaving Torres in the suitcase. However, videos found on Boone's phone showed her laughing and taunting Torres while he pleaded for help. How do you play hide and seek knowing where the person is? Somebody explain this to me, because I don't get it. She couldn't come up with something different? I just don't understand that. And then to have those videos come out, and I don't know if everybody saw them, but they were not good, showing him trying to get out of that suitcase and her hitting him with a bat. Just horrific. Boone faced charges on second-degree murder. The trial included testimonies from law enforcement officers, Boone's previous attorneys, because she had 9, and evidence from Boone's phone. The defense argued that Boone was a victim of DV and should be acquitted based on battered spouse syndrome. Okay. If he was in the process of beating her and she unalived him at that time, I could see the battered spouse syndrome defense coming in. But that wasn't the case at all. He was not touching her when she decided to put him in the suitcase. So I agree with the verdict on this case. On October 25th, 2024, Sarah Boone was found guilty of second-degree murder. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Yeah, I never played hide and seek with my partner drunk. Well, that's not even the thing. Even if I'm drunk, okay, I'm not going to voluntarily get into a suitcase. So I don't know what was the real reason he got into the suitcase. A suitcase, of all things. Why would you even get in there? I don't know. She claimed she went upstairs to go to bed and came down and couldn't find him. Oh, yeah. How could you not find him? You knew where he was. You videotaped it on the phone that you knew where he was. Another crazy person off the streets, in my opinion. Another case that was kind of bizarre, off the walls. Melody Ferris. Victim, Gary Wayne Ferris, Melody's husband. On July 5th, 2018, Gary Ferris, a prominent Atlanta area attorney, was found unalived in a burn pile on the couple's property in Cherokee County, Georgia. Initially, Melody claimed Gary had started the fire himself and might have died from a medical emergency. However, the investigation revealed that Gary had been shot and his body was burned to conceal the crime. Definitely didn't do that himself. The trial began in October 2024 and included testimony from family members, friends, and law enforcement. The prosecution presented extensive evidence, including over 1,200 items, such as crime scene photographs, cell phone data, and digital records. 36 witnesses testified for the prosecution. The defense argued that Melody's son, Scott, could have been responsible for Gary's death. On November 4th, 2024, Melody Ferris was found guilty on all counts, including malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, concealing the death of another, and making a false statement. She was sentenced to life in prison plus 5 years on December 5th, 2024. The sentencing also prohibits her from contacting family members unless they choose to maintain contact with her. Now, I don't know if you saw Melody's statement after she was convicted, before she was sentenced. But once again, after the jury looked at all the evidence and decided she had done this, she tried to pin it on her son, Scott. And eventually, the prosecutor objected and said, this is not about evidence. Okay? If she had evidence of this, it should have been presented at trial. So she had to change her statement and didn't have much to say after that, in my opinion. But her son had to sit in that courtroom during the sentencing and listen to this bullshit again. Do we need more mental health facilities or what? Absolutely. Because we have some really wackos in this world. Andrea says, too little, too late. And laws supporting their use of, yes. Said she promised her mother-in-law she would tell the truth. Yeah. Absolutely crazy, this woman. Made me sick. And I found out about this case from Andrea's mom, of all people. As I was in Indiana, she was telling me about it, and then I started following it a little bit here and there. They closed a lot of them down, saying it was better to let these people live independently, but I don't think that's always true. Yeah. And then we have the case that is closest to our hearts. The case of Richard M. Allen. Our victims were Abigail Abby Williams, 13, and Liberty Libby German, 14. On February 13, 2017, Abby and Libby went for a hike on the Monon High Bridge Trail near Delphi, Indiana. They were found deceased the next day, with their bodies discovered about a quarter of a mile from the trail. Their throats had been slashed and they were covered with sticks. Richard M. Allen, a local CVS employee, was arrested in October 2022 after years of investigation. The trial began in November 2024 and it started in October, and include testimonies from law enforcement officers, evidence from the crime scene, cell phone video recorded by Libby just before, and the video showed a man approaching the girls and saying, "Down the hill." The prosecution argued that Allen was the bridge guy seen in the video. Allen's defense claimed that he was innocent and that the murders were committed by a third party. On November 11, 2024, he was found guilty on all charges, including 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of murder while committing kidnapping. He was sentenced to 130 years on December 20th, 2024. He was put into the prison system, and they sent him right back to Westville, where he was housed during the time of his arrest and until he was moved for the trial. Exactly. Yes, and now he's back at Westville. Exactly. I do have more things to say about that case. I will do an independent live regarding that to wrap that one up. It's even better sent right back where he started from. I agree. I said that sarcastically to Frank Meister on the phone, and then the next day Frank called me and told me that's exactly where he ended up. Good riddance. So what cases do we have to look forward to in 2025? If I miss any, because I just got a few, if I miss any and you want me to cover them, let me know what they are. Leave a comment below the video, and that way I will be able to do that. Flora, yes, I will definitely be covering that case in 2025. As far as trials, what are we looking forward to? Arizona versus Lori Vallow. Lori Vallow, already serving a life sentence for the unaliving of her 2 youngest children and her 5th husband's first wife, will face trial for the unaliving of her 4th husband and the attempted unaliving of her niece's ex-husband. From what I understand, she is going to represent herself. Oh boy, that trial's going to be a train wreck. That's all I got to say. We're going to have to watch that one together. And I'm going to have to get Patreon up and running in order to watch it or do it through members only lives. So I'm going to give you that option, you guys, of which way you want to do these trials. Because that one is going to be entertaining with her being her own attorney. I can guarantee it. The next one, Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger, Idaho student murders. Bryan Kohberger is charged with the murders of 4 University of Idaho students who were stabbed in their off-campus home. He could face the death penalty if convicted. We will definitely be watching that trial. And Stephanie even said, Kohlberger, and Rex. I don't know if Rex's trial is going to happen in 2025, but if it does, we will keep an eye on it. That one is also, the Kohlberger trial is going to be crazy. We thought 2024 had some crazy ones. Oh, we got some stacked up ones coming in 2025, and they're all going to be bizarre. I can promise you that. Those are on my list of cases to do in 2025 also. They might. I don't know for sure. Supposed to have one camera in the courtroom for Kohlbergers. That would be good. But like I said, those first two are doozies. But we got more coming. Florida versus Stephen Stearns is supposed to happen in 2025. Stephen Stearns is scheduled to stand trial in 2025. First, for charges of actual battery of a minor and actual P word. And then, in a second trial, for the unaliving of Madeline Soto, the 13-year-old daughter of his girlfriend. That one's going to be hard, you guys. It's going to be very hard. In my opinion, they have enough evidence to put him away for life, if not unalive him. Another Florida case. Here we go. Florida versus Donna Adelson. Matriarch Mastermind Murder Trial is what they're naming it. Donna Adelson is the fifth person facing charges for the unaliving of her former son-in-law, FSU law professor Dan Markle. Her son, Charlie, was convicted of the unaliving along with his ex-girlfriend and hitman. I don't know if any of you know that case, but we're going to be going over it and reviewing it so we're prepared for trial. Number 5, Massachusetts versus Karen Read. It's going to be the Karen Read retrial. Part 2. We thought the first one was crazy. Let's see what the second one's like. She's scheduled to be retried on charges she unalived her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Her first trial divided the community and captured worldwide attention. Number 6, Nevada versus Dwayne Davis. Who's Dwayne Davis? I had to think about it, and then I had to look at the description in order to even know who he was. Dwayne Bo Davis is charged with the unaliving of rapper Tupac Shakur. Everybody's been waiting for that arrest for a very long time. They finally made an arrest, and his trial is supposed to happen in 2025. Wisconsin. There's a Wisconsin trial for Maxwell Anderson. He's charged with the unaliving of his wife, Brittany Anderson. And then we have California versus Larry, I think it's Millett, the disappearance of Maya Millett. Larry Millett is charged with the disappearance and unaliving of his wife, Maya. What other things do we have to look forward to? Well, in 2025, we're supposed to have the trial of Sean Diddy Puffy Combs. We're going to go over this case too. And everything going on with Jay-Z. Because this one keeps exploding. And more people are going to be arrested and arraigned for all of this horrific behavior that was going on. You have sex trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy. He's been in custody since 2024 in September, and he's been denied bail multiple times due to concerns about witness tampering and the seriousness of the charges. So yes, we will be going over Diddy. And then another case that we're going to look at is not an actual trial. It's supposed to be the potential of a resentencing. And that is for Eric and Lyle Mendez. But that's been postponed now to January, sometime, I think January 30th, 31st of 2025. The new prosecutor just took office. The defense is now asking for a special prosecutor in this case. So originally, this was delayed to allow more time for the judge to review 17 boxes of evidence. The Mendez brothers, who have been serving life sentences without the possibility of parole since their 1996 conviction for the unaliving of their parents, are hoping for a reduced sentence under California's new resentencing laws. Their defense has presented new evidence supporting their claims of abuse by their father. Now, originally, and we're going to go over this case, we're going to go back to the beginning. Originally, they had one trial, and it was a hung jury. At that first trial, they were able to present information about this abuse. However, in the second trial, they were not allowed to present any information about the abuse. And that is a reason why their case is being looked at as far as a resentencing. Yep, there's going to be interesting ones, that's for sure. Kind of like Taylor. Oh my goodness, she was wacky. Wacky. Diddy. Yep. A lot of people were Diddy fans. Stephanie, we're going to go through that. I've got some research to do on that one yet and how he was found and arrested for that. But I think this is all part of the fallout on the Diddy case. So, but I don't know for sure, but we're going to look into it. So that is what I had for tonight. Like I said, we're going to do a lot more missing persons cases and trials coming up, and there's cases popping up right and left. So, plus I'm going to be restarting the Tabitha Shuck Rains case also this year. since people have been asking me about that. So that's what we have to look forward to in 2025. Some of our victims that we have been following, we can close out those cases now, as like Quentin Simon. We did get justice for him. And like CJK just said, sadly, there will never be an end to these sad cases. They just keep happening. We're going to talk about the woman who was unalived at the what do you call it? The underground trains. We have a little boy that was beheaded right before Christmas that we're going to talk about. We have another little boy, Kalen. Not Kalen. Or is it Kalen? I can't remember for sure. That's been missing for months and is now presumed deceased. His mother and father and younger or sister were in a car accident. The father and the daughter died from that car accident. The mom was put into the hospital and was in a coma, and she just recently woke up, and we're getting more details on that case. Have a good night, Gail. Happy New Year. And like CJK said, more cases are going to pop up, more missing persons cases, and I'm going to try to cover as much of those as I can. But for now, everybody, I want to say good night. Thank you for joining me. If you have cases that are coming up in 2025 that you want me to cover, put it in a comment below, especially the trials or the cases, and I'll try to do it. On that note, please, everyone, have a safe and happy New Year. If you're staying home like me, find something to watch on TV, enjoy the time with your loved ones. If you're going out, please be careful. Have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye.